everybody. Welcome back to Cup of Joy, the podcast. It's such an exciting time here. Now, I want to catch you up on where I've been and dive into my favorite topic, which y'all know is reclaiming your joy. If you've been following Cup of Joy, the podcast for a while, you've probably noticed that we took almost an entire year off. It's true. From March to November, I took a break. I needed a break. I felt my creativity slipping. I felt the desire to even come on and chat slipping. And as a result, it actually opened up a whole new series of things, which normally happens when we give ourselves that beautiful break. So a couple of things happened. First, I focused 100% of my energy on coaching and on my 9-month transformation group. It was one of the most incredible experiences I've had the privilege of leading so far as a coach in this experience, and started the experience with a bunch of strangers and left just feeling so energized by our femininity and moving forward in life together. We even ended the year with an incredible retreat where most of the girls, a couple couldn't make it, but most of the girls could make it, where we actually got to hug each other in person, go on hikes, tune into lots of journal sessions, breathwork sessions, you name it, we got it. It was beautiful. The second thing that taking a break from Cup of Joy, the podcast, allowed me to do was really lean into the messages that my soul really wanted to share, really wanted to communicate, and really refocus on what that even looked like. And the third thing was to really create space in my body to energize the new expanded version of Joyfully Be. Now, as a result of doing these things over the past couple of months and taking that break, a new brand has been born. And it's truly, truly lighting me up from the inside out to share this with all of you guys. When I started Joyfully Be 2.5 years ago, and many of you, if you've listened from the very first podcast, you've heard the full story of my struggles with food and body. And then it really has explored several different areas of my life and stories of others who have come forward to share their own stories and struggles. But when I started 2.5 years ago, my mission was to help women win the food and body battle. That was it. And of course, as a result of that, to really jumpstart their joy. As some of you, as someone myself who has struggled with food and body for over 2 decades in my life, I know how this issue can block your joy and hold you hostage from living a life that you deserve and desire. And so after healing my relationship to food and my body, I became a life coach, and I have been serving women all over the world struggling with these same issues. And to those of you who found me in whatever capacity that you found me, or through Cup of Joy, the podcast, I know a couple of you did. And for those of you who found me and said yes to coaching with me over the past 2 years, or in some capacity, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been my greatest joy and will continue to be a space and place that I'm really, really passionate about serving. However, through my own self-discovery and personal recovery, which, by the way, is now a continuous commitment and practice in my life, I realized that there was a group of women that my soul needed to speak directly to. And because I've already taken the time to be so vulnerable and share around food and body, there was this other segment of my life that I needed to reach out and serve in such a unique and special way. My soul needed to call out and speak out to these women so that they didn't feel lost or alone like I did. Similarly to my nudges with food and body, this one kind of felt like it came out of nowhere, but it came on even stronger, even though it was unexpected. And over the past 6 months, my heart's desire has been giving me the signs and signals to support and serve divorced women. And maybe you don't know that about my story. I'll be sharing more in the coming weeks and months and year, but it is for divorced for divorced women to really be seen and be heard and have a safe space. So at first, when this came about, my brain's fear was screaming so loudly, you guys, over my body's intuition and delaying my desires to move forward. It was telling me things like, no, don't do that. No one's going to want that. Where will you even find any divorced women who are searching for support? But honestly, you have to know this. Your heart will always nudge you to stay, and your heart will stay relentless about speaking your truth until you take action. It will stay relentless, sending you the same lessons, no matter how hard they are, until you take action. And trust me, you'll continue to get those messages and moments over and over and over until you step up and into what is meant for you. If you ever have wondered why the same lessons keep popping up over and over and over, or you keep dating the same person over and over and over, it's because there's something in there that you're supposed to be paying attention to and leaning into and learning from and taking action from that you haven't yet learned or taken action from. So over the past couple of months, I've been nurturing the request inside of myself to guide and support women in this space. And I'm happy to announce the brand expansion of Joyfully Be into Joyfully Divorced. You'll find our new website available now, new YouTube channel, Instagram content shifting, and even a new TikTok channel coming soon. That's right. I'm going to figure it out and I'll be out there on TikTok soon. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, but Heidi, I'm not divorced. Will the future episodes even resonate with me? And my short answer is yes, absolutely. And you probably have noticed that I decided to keep the name the same. It's still Cup of Joy, the podcast, because at the root, our mission and focus is to continue helping all humans reclaim their joy, or maybe even just remind you to refocus on your joy and make it a priority. The lessons, stories, tips, and talks will still honor and highlight our human connection. It will still share junk to joy stories with the intention of helping humans uncover and discover more about themselves. And at the end of the day, inviting you to use joy as your GPS to design the life that you are obsessed with. And honestly, regardless of what your pain point is today, or the trauma that you've experienced from anything, food and body battles, divorce, breakup, job loss, relationship loss, or maybe even simply just having a disappointing day, it all boils down to one commonality: emotions. How we feel in our bodies, how we feel in that funked up moments of life, and more importantly, how we free the funk and return to our true selves. The you who believes in your dreams, who speaks the truth, who lives fully expressed, and who is really truly honoring that limitless lifestyle. And again, whatever feels like it's hard and limiting you today, whatever roadblocks, whatever challenges, whatever hurt that you got stuck on the struggle bus with, my intention through Cup of Joy, the podcast, is that you'll hear relatable, real life stories that make you feel seen, heard, and inspired to take your next best step. Now, that was a long way to say that while I'll be sharing more about my personal journey with divorce and probably inviting some guests along the way that have journeyed their own way through divorce, just as I have with food and body, you can take that which resonates with you and apply it to whatever turmoil or turbulency or funk that you are facing on your own journey. And you can still coach with me and sign up for my group programs. Nothing has changed of what we've been doing. It's just expanding where we're going. My goal is truly just that, to expand my services through vulnerably sharing my experience and now my expertise in this new category of my life. And as always, if you or someone that you know is looking for support on a subject that we haven't addressed, message me or message the expert or the guest that I have that day. We love, love hearing from our listeners and knowing what topics are truly, truly on your hearts. Okay, so to kick things off this week, I wanted to start by talking about the core, the pulse, the everything behind anything that I put into this world moving forward, joy. But not just what joy means to me now, but why it's important to reclaim your joy and what that even looks like. So let's begin with the basics. Joy. When I first started coaching, I really wanted to support people in the traditional definition of what the word joy meant. Because when I was going through the heck that I was going through, I felt like I had truly lost my joy. When I reclaimed it, all I wanted to do was teach others how to do the same thing, right? Once you've lost something and you figure out how to get back or even better what you didn't have before, it's addicting. I wanted to teach everybody how to do the same. And at that time, joy was described by who I call Sir Webster, the dictionary, as quite simply a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Now, that felt true for me at the time because we only know what we know at the time while we're growing. And then we continue to learn more and evolve more, and a lot of things shift and change. But that felt true for me at the time. And I just chose to focus on what would give me more of those moments of great pleasure and happiness. And I learned how to master this and share incredible tools for tapping into joy in the more traditional sense. However, over the past 2 years, I've researched and learned so much more about joy, both personally and professionally. The true definition of joy goes beyond the limited explanation presented by Webster. True joy is limitless, life-defining. It's really this transformative space and reservoir waiting to be tapped into. It requires the utmost surrender, and like love, is a choice to be made. And the reality is it's actually not about ignoring the pain or hurt that you feel, but rather noticing and responding to it so you can shift. And then, and only then, will you create space for more joy. So I'm now coaching with a much more expansive focus and perspective on joy. In fact, I've created an acronym that I know is not a coincidence. When I started sitting with the word joy and taking in the letters and feeling into my body, I realized that joy stands for something really powerful. Joy stands for the journey of you. Think about this. You are literally living joy. You're literally living the journey of you every single day and every single moment because it's life. It's the journey. It's no longer just these moments of pleasure, but what happens before that quick hit of happiness and thereafter. It's this deep entanglement of nourishing your soul's needs, courageously answering the questions of your heart's desires, and allowing growth and expansion from the curiosity, compassion, and connection of your internal intuitive compass. And taking that one step further, what would life look like if you allow joy to be your GPS? If you spent time getting super clear on what that heck yes and heck no felt like in your body. So when choices came across your path, you would know the difference and allow that GPS to point you in the direction of what is true for you. Your soul's natural resting place is joy. We've just been conditioned to concentrate on things that distract us from this natural space and slowly have blocked our capacity to operate from this space consistently. These choices are where so many of us get stuck. We've taken on beliefs and thoughts and feelings that aren't even ours. And as a result, our compass needs recalibration. The reason why I use the phrase reclaim your joy is because I realized throughout my own heartache to healing journey that I had a choice. I had a choice on what I focused on. I had a choice to make a game plan. I had a choice to take action. I had a choice to be consistent with action. I had a choice to take the responsibility for my own healing, health, and happiness. And I had a choice to be relentless about cultivating and living in joy or not. It was my choice to take it back, to reclaim it, or to leave it in the dark place that I've been choosing to operate from. Did I choose to have a divorce pop into my path? No, that wasn't part of the game plan. However, once I accepted that this was happening, I continued to choose to distract myself and react rather than digging deep and recovering from it. Joyfully Divorced is helping women recalibrate that internal compass to find the new true you, a version of you that feels lit up living that limitless life, a true you who no longer ignores the pain, but rather uses it on purpose, with purpose, to create a life that you love. Researcher Matthew Quan Johnson shares that while experiencing joy, we don't lose ourselves, we become more truly ourselves. You see, there are so many layers to joy that I'm still uncovering and discovering, and it's the most incredible journey I've ever chosen to date. I can't wait to explore it more with you here on Cup of Joy, the podcast, and all the other platforms, and maybe even in a one-to-one or growth experience. If you feel called to dive in on a more intimate healing level, you can reach out to me for support in one of those areas. Now, make sure that you subscribe and tune in every single Tuesday for new episodes. We are back and ready to take action here, and we already have a full lineup of guests over the next few months, and every single one we've recorded to date is epic, epic. Thank you so, so much for tuning in, my loves. Make sure you go out into the world, shine your light bright, and live a limitless life. See you soon.